Bob Nightingale put a story out with USA Today, releasing the latest idea and latest plan for MLB for when they could resume games and how it could resume. So the plan right now for MLB, they could resume, and they're thinking, and you read, MLB is very positive and really starting to get optimistic that a season is going to be played and a legitimate season is going to be played. The hope is that baseball could return sometime between late June and at latest July 2nd. So somewhere in that week or 10-day gap, baseball will return. So let's just say 2 months from now, right? It's April 30th. Let's say baseball could resume in about 2 months. With that, if that's the case, baseball believes, MLB believes they could fit in 100 games. Go from, again, late June, early July, all the way through October. Then have playoff games and the World Series played in neutral sites in warm weather to make sure that obviously, winter weather affects their playoff games. Now, this is where the change comes in. This is where it could be radical. The plan is to have 3 divisions, 10 teams each division, but 3 divisions based on geography alone. So the AL and NL for this season thrown out the window. The AL East, NL East, AL West, NL West, all gone this year. 3 divisions, 10 teams per division, all based on geographic location. You would only play the teams in your division. And there is hope eventually that maybe if the season has to start in, let's say, the 3 states that are thrown out there, Florida, Texas, and California, which has been a plan, maybe by August or September, a lot of these teams can go back to their home ballparks, and we can actually have games played in home ballparks without fans. That is a hope, and that is a plan, at least right now, that MLB is thinking about and hopefully trying to implement. So again, 100 games, 3 divisions, 10 teams per division based on geographic location alone. So no leagues, no AL, no NL, just 3 divisions, 10 teams mixed in AL and NL together. Obviously, there are prerequisites that are very important. Testing has to be widely available to the public. Right now, it is not. Again, 2 months from now, we don't know what the landscape is going to be. A month from now, we don't even think baseball is going to happen, probably. And this Arizona plan seemed the only way baseball could return. Now, obviously, we're getting to the stage where testing is improving. We see the numbers starting to drop. So now there's more hope that baseball could be played, and it could be played actually in teams' home ballparks. So we don't know what 2 months are going to look like, but obviously that is a major prerequisite. Testing has to be widely available to the public, so myself and you and your family can get a test just as easily as baseball players could get a test. Now, obviously, they work with medical experts. They have to have approval and sign off on this plan. So MLB is taking the right precautions and the smart steps in order to make sure that the season goes off without a hitch, and more importantly, once the season resumes, it won't have to stop again. Right? We already saw that in Japan. They tried to resume their season, had to stop because players came down with the coronavirus, and now MLB does not want that, which I think is very smart. So again, those are really 2 prerequisites. But I'm curious because now, again, like I said, when you're playing a short season, that's 100 games. When you're having 3 divisions, and those divisions be East, Central, and West. In the East Division, you have the Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Nationals, Orioles, Phillies, Pirates, Blue Jays, Rays, and Marlins. So every team on the East Coast. Again, AL and NL mixed together. You still preserve, Mets-Yankees rivalry, Yankees-Red Sox rivalry, Mets-Phillies, Mets-Nationals. You still have a lot of those rivalries set and kept together. Central, you have the Cubs, White Sox, Brewers, Cardinals, Royals, Reds, Indians, Twins, Braves, and Tigers. Then out west, obviously, you have everyone else: Dodgers, Angels, Giants, A's, Padres, Diamondbacks, Rockies, the Rangers, Astros, and Mariners. So like I said, 3 divisions, 10 teams, all mixed and all based on geographic location only. So things are going to be a lot different in 2020 than any normal season. This is essentially a testing ground and a free trial run for MLB this season with all the changes that are already going to happen just to play baseball. So this got me thinking. What changes could we make that MLB can implement this year that would make the game better? And in Bob Nightingale's story, he quoted one MLB executive who said this, quote, "This is going to be a season like we've never seen," end quote. So everyone is aware this is going to be very different. So why not take this opportunity to implement maybe a change or 2 or 3 that you were toiling with, thinking about, but now you can implement in 2020 since it's already a test year, since it's already different, and see if it actually works in the real life without maybe getting the scrutiny or getting players and fans upset as you would normally if a year was business as usual, right? So I'm curious. I have 2 ideas. Let's get your ideas. You can either comment on Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network, throw us a tweet at WWSRN_radio, or my personal Twitter handle, Ryan_Hickey, 3. What changes would you put in MLB this year in 2020 as an experiment that could really help the game in the long term? Maybe you are a fan of the 3-batter rule that's going to be implemented this year, where a reliever coming in has to face a minimum of 3 batters before a pitching change is made, right? Maybe you like that rule. You want to see it expanded to a full inning. Whatever reliever comes in, you have to stay in that inning. You have to keep that reliever in the full inning. Maybe you hate the DH or you love DH. This is the time to where small changes could be put in place to help the game better. I'm not a radical change guy. I like baseball the way it is. So that my two changes and suggestions aren't really extreme for the most part and don't change the way the game of baseball that we see it as is. So at least mine, the first one I would do, I honestly, a lot of AL fans are going to hate this. I would remove the DH. I hate the designated hitter in the AL. I hate even more that baseball is the only league where there are different rules for each conference and each league. I hate how the AL has one set of rules, the NL has one set of rules, where no other sport has that. The NFC and the AFC play by the same rules. Eastern Conference and the Western Conference play by the same rules. Baseball is the only one that has different leagues based on the league you play, or different rules, based upon the league you play in. I hate it. Everyone is pushing for the DH in the NL. On the opposite, take it away, take it out of the NL, take it out of the AL. A few reasons. One, I wholesalely believe this, and I can't be convinced otherwise. It provides more strategy for managers. Nowadays, managers are having less and less responsibilities. Everything's being taken out of their hands. The front office now is the one making the lineup. Analytics department is determining who's playing, which pitchers should come in this situation, and so on. The managers basically don't decide anything anymore. They just listen to what the front office says. So now, if you take the DH out, it adds more strategy because you have to figure out if a pitcher has to come up and hit in the 7th inning and he's due up second and he's pitching great, it's a 1-run game. Do you pinch hit and go for another run, or do you keep him in there because he's pitching so well? How do you bring in a reliever in? If you're in a tough spot here with the pitcher up second and it's a big spot, you need to bring a reliever in, do you bring him in knowing that, you might have to either pinch hit for him or have him bat with a runner in score position? Taking the DH out of the game provides more strategy for managers and makes them think and puts, again, it harder on each team and each manager, makes them think more, provides more options. I'm all about that. I love the gameplay. I love the strategy. It involves more for the managers. I'm all for removing the DH. And not to mention, too, pitchers are athletes. Let's not pretend like, they are these machines that only know how to throw and can't do anything else. They are athletes. We're seeing these pitchers come in bigger, faster, stronger. And not to mention, too, there's a big complaint, pitchers don't hit, throughout, their entire career. Why now, all of a sudden, from high school, from travel ball to little league to college ball to the minor leagues, pitchers never hit? Why all of a sudden now we're making them hit? Well, you take the DH away. There's no reason for the minor leagues, for high school, for college, for travel baseball, for these teams to have DHs. There's no reason. The reason why they have it is because it's in the major leagues now. If pitchers are going to be brought up hitting anyway, right? If that's just part of their game, guess what? They're going to learn how to hit. They're going to be good at it, and they're going to not be fazed by it by the time they get up to the plate in the majors. You take the DH away, it takes the DH away at every baseball level going forward. Now pitchers will be hitting in high school and college, used to it, which will improve the game. And I wonder, this is just a complete speculation and complete guess, but I wonder, because we're seeing so many pitchers have arm injuries, and especially getting Tommy John at a rate more than we've ever seen before. I understand pitchers are throwing harder, which is putting more stress on the elbow and the pitching arm, which is causing more injuries. I wonder if you are causing pitchers to focus on something else other than pitching, because now, especially with specialization, these kids are pitching in high school and not doing anything else. If you force them to hit, if you force them maybe, that'll even allow them to play other positions outside of pitching. I wonder if that could help save arm injuries, because now all of a sudden, if you're a pitcher that's to hit, you're still focusing on hitting. Obviously, you're still focusing on pitching. That's the main priority. But you're still hitting. You're still in the cage taking cuts. You're still working on your swing. I wonder if that will help reduce arm injuries going forward. It's a complete guess by me. But I wonder if now that if you force pitchers to kind of work on something else, focus on something else outside of just pitching, if that will save their arm going forward, and we'll see less arm injuries once these players get to the minors and the major leagues. So I've removed the DH. I think it improves strategy. These pitchers are athletes. It'll take away the DH going forward as these players come up, and I think it'll only be better for the game. And maybe prevent future arm injuries from happening. And the other thing I would do, I would eliminate coaches' challenges. Nothing drives me more crazy as a fan now than waiting around 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes as the manager is sitting on top of the dugout with his hand up to the umpire, holding up play to see if he should challenge a play or not. Drives me insane. Now, we're just waiting around. Is the guy safe on first base? Is he out? Should we change it? No other sport allows coaches to basically take their time in making a decision to challenge or not, right? Football, you have until the next play is snapped. Obviously, if you're on offense and you want to review, you can take your time a little bit. But if the other team makes a judgment or a quick, a questionable call, let's say, well, the other team's hurrying up. You don't have that much time to decide whether you want to challenge or not. It's a bang-bang decision. Baseball should be the same. And how you do that, eliminate coaches' challenges. Have a sky judge review everything. Fair, foul, out, safe. And have him buzz down to the umpires if they want to take a second look. Sort of what college football does. Now, there's no challenges in college football. Everything's reviewed by a sky judge. And if they want a second look, they buzz down. So this would eliminate coaches waiting around, calling, someone in the video room to say, should we challenge it? Was it fair? Is it a home run? Was he out? Was he safe? It eliminates that waiting around. And not to mention, too, we talked about this when we talked about the Red Sox punishment. Eliminating coaches' challenges also eliminates the need of a video replay room. Right? These replay rooms were built and put in right next to the dugout so coaches and managers can discuss with whoever their video coordinator is to see what's going on, should they challenge or not. That's mostly the main reason for it. A quick form of communication to say, should we replay it? Yes or no? Are we in or are we out? Let's do it. Now, if you take away that reason to have a video replay room coordinator, you basically eliminate the need of a replay room, which means less cameras, less avenues for players to cheat. Coming off of the Astros scandal, coming off of the Red Sox scandal, MLB has to get this right. Rob Manfred didn't punish players, which I thought was the right thing, but going forward, you have to make sure this does not happen again. Part of that, doing that, is just taking the temptation away. Take away one avenue of cheating. I think eliminating the coaches' challenges, again, eliminates the need of a replay room going forward, and not just, if you take that away, that's one less avenue for players to cheat. So that's what I would do. I would take away the DH, and I would eliminate coaches' challenges, are my two things that I think MLB should put into the 2020 season to make the game better, make the game more exciting, make the game move quicker, and be a good testing ground to see if it works or not. Maybe it doesn't work. Maybe the DH is a colossal disaster. Maybe both teams need it. I disagree wholeheartedly, but maybe, once we see it in action, that will prove me wrong. Maybe it'll prove me right. Maybe this is, AL fans will get used to seeing pitchers hit and be more exciting. And I think just the coach challenge is just so frustrating, such a waste of time, especially now with MLB so dead set on trying to make the game as quick as possible. Take away the coaches' challenges. They're just a waste of time. No one enjoys sitting around wasting a minute or so. I think that'll be a benefit for the game. So if you have any thoughts, what would you do to change the game of baseball? This is a testing ground. An MLB executive already said this is going to be a year like we've never seen. So it's going to be different. We're going to have AL and NL teams mixed together. Only 3 divisions, no more leagues. And you play teams that are geographically close to you. So it's going to be very different.